Hello, my name is Jenny, and I'm writing my undergraduate honors thesis with the Department of Cognitive Science. I work with Professor Jane Huggins in the Direct Brain Interface Laboratory, and in my project, I'm looking into how the number and locations of electrodes on an EEG cap affects the accuracy of a P300-based brain-computer interface, specifically for populations with impairments such as cerebral palsy, amyothic lateral sclerosis, and neuromuscular disease. I know these are lots of terms, so let me describe them a little bit. First, brain-computer interface. This is a class of technology which acquires brain signals, then uses a computer to translate brain signals into commands to allow users to interact directly with computers only by using their minds. In the lab, we use EEG to acquire brain signals. We put a cap on the subject's head that has sensors in it that we call the electrodes. These caps have different number of electrodes, such as 8, 16, 32, 64, or even 128. A brain-computer interface absolutely does not read your mind like what you see in science fictions. Indeed, there is very little about the brain that we understand. And when we say we translate brain signals, we are looking at some specific features of the brain signal that we already understand. And in the lab, it is P300, which occurs when the user expects to see something which is the target, and the target is mixed with a larger number of non-targets, and it occurs infrequently and randomly with the non-targets. The lab uses the P300-based EEG brain-computer interface to develop devices such as a keyboard, a communication system, or a way to give cognitive tests without movement. My project is to look at the number and locations of electrodes for populations with impairments. There are three major reasons that this topic might be interesting. First, brain-computer interfaces usually work better with the normal population. And second, current electrode locations are designed for typical developing populations, and there's no systematic studies on electrode locations for populations with impairments. And thirdly, cost for the equipment can be lowered by using fewer but more informative electrodes. And these all together can make the brain-computer interface more practical for people who actually want to use technology outside the lab. In my thesis, I want to address the following questions. Is a custom electrode subset particularly useful for populations with impairments? And what is the relationship between accuracy and number of electrodes? What is the minimal number of electrodes that is required for populations with impairments? And finally, are there electrodes that are particularly useful for a certain disability? In other words, are there disability-specific subsets? This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.